everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Emma and Georgia, and today we are watching Queen Charlotte Season 1 Episode 3. If you want to watch our uncut seat reactions, links to the Patreon is down below.
Last episode, it was Charlotte and George's honeymoon, and let's just say it was a very lonely time for Charlotte. She was on her own, her husband was nowhere to be seen, she had Brimsley following her every move, she was eating with all the guards watching her. I just think I would be so uncomfortable in that situation. But she called the shots. She asked to visit George, and it turned out he had been stargazing, or not stargazing, he was looking at a planet. My mind fails me on what planet it was.
Jupiter,
Mercury?
Wasn't it?
Oh, Jupiter, yeah, that sounds right. He was looking for Jupiter. It's like the first time it'll be visible to Earth for a long period of time or something, so he said that's what he was doing, although based on the scene at the end with his mother, we believe that he's lying and he has mental health issues, and that's why he's staying away from Charlotte. Obviously we know he has issues in the present day, or the Bridgerton era, but it looks like he has something going on with him way back now.
Yeah, it's making a lot more sense, because when he gave that really pathetic excuse of, oh, I'm not like with you because I'm doing the stargazing, looking at the planets with my telescope, I was so mad for Queen Charlotte. Like, I was getting like literally boiling beneath the surface, because I was just thinking, like, you like Charlotte, we can see that. Why don't you do these things together, like, instead of being apart? But that last scene really made sense, because he was sort of like hyperventilating, like, in a way. He was like really struggling, and I think we're suspecting he is suffering with some mental health issues or something like that, and it makes a lot of sense. He doesn't want her to find out, and his I hate saying the word butler or servant because it's just so, like, I just hate that word. Yeah. But you know who we're talking about. Brimsley. He was like, the blonde guy, lover. Blonde dude. He was like, she'll never know, don't worry, and all that. So yeah, he's quite George is very insecure about these things. He's very secretive. He keeps her at arm's length all the time. And even in that dinner, when he graced her with his presence, it was just really weird. And Charlotte, she's a headstrong woman. Like, she's not a meek little girl that would be obedient to her husband. It's so refreshing to see her stand up for herself and say, you know what, I don't like this, and demands an explanation, as she should, you know? And it's so nice to see that she is completely confident in standing up for herself and, getting these answers. And
thankfully it worked, and they did make up, and they had their wedding night, so to speak.
Yes, they consummated the marriage.
Yes, they did. And because of the conversation, what she overheard in the conversation with his mother at the end of the episode, it sounded like he only was with her and married her because she had asked him to, not because he wanted to. Obviously we know it's the opposite, but he really made it sound like he was only doing it because his mother asked him to, so that's going to lead to another argument, I'm sure.
It's such an unfortunate moment. Like, she heard that at such a bad time. Like, you know, George just says whatever would please his mother, because she is so annoying and just wants everything to be perfect and according to tradition and everything, and wants all these royal babies and everything, and he just says things to keep her happy, which is completely fair enough. But Charlotte heard at the worst moment when he was lying to his mum, pretty much saying it was his duty and all that, which it wasn't. I think George does have genuine feelings for Charlotte, and there's gonna be friction going into this episode for sure. And
she has a blooming friendship with Lady Danbury, and Lady Danbury herself has scored herself a whole new property, and hopefully for her husband to be more included in society, because while he has the same title as the other lords of the Ton, they weren't including him still, probably because of his skin colour. So she's hopefully gained him more more events in society, and herself less sexual intercourse.
Oh god, those scenes with her like having sex with her husband is so cringe to watch, because literally you can just see her face and how much she hates it. But I am happy for them that they're actually getting the respect they deserve, because I mean, come on, like, it should be that way. They should be accepted into society regardless of race. And it's nice to see it's becoming more progressive, and that Lady Danbury and her husband can have the luxuries of being a lord and lady.
Also, a mistake I've noticed that we say in the reactions, I think it's actually mostly me, but we keep calling George's mother the Queen, and she is not the Queen. Obviously, Charlotte is the Queen.
Yeah.
She is referred to as the Dowager Princess. So
That's a bit of a mouthful. Dowager Princess.
yeah, I mean, I just think of her as Catelyn Stark, but we can't say that.
I think I was saying Queen Mother. I don't know if that's even correct.
No, she'd be the King Mother.
King Mother.
Yeah.
I don't want to. What? I've even forgotten it already. What was it again?
The Dowager Princess.
Dowager. I've never heard of that word in my life.
I don't know what it
Dowager
means.
Princess.
And it
Can I
seems
just say
weird
King
that.
Mother?
Yeah, I mean, people will
It's
know
so
who we're on
much
about.
easier.
But
Yeah.
I don't understand the title, because why is she a princess when her son is the king? That doesn't seem to make sense in my eyes.
Like,
but
they've sort of downgraded her into this weird ass title. Like,
yeah.
It's not sticking, I'm sorry.
I thought they were not speaking.
It's Coronation Day.
Coronation Day.
They haven't
Okay.
spoken.
So where is he?
The king shall be with her soon enough.
I
He's
love
sitting
how
beside
Brimsley
her.
fights the Queen's corner so
Yeah.
much. Like, he's so in tune with her. I love it.
Coronation Day is a great day for her and the country.
Brimsley has got that fire in him like the Queen does. And George's butler is more subdued and calm, like George. Like, they are reflections of them.
Why is he being examined by a strange doctor in the cellar? Why is he not being examined by the royal physician?
Brimsley, you have seen.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything.
Does this mean they're using like other methods to try and cure him?
They had to go all the way across the world to find someone willing to marry the king.
Who is
There are
this?
plenty of ladies
I know,
right
who
here in
are we
London
looking
who
at
married
here?
the king.
That their love means we now live
Oh, is this
an unnatural
Violet Bridgerton?
society. What is unnatural about us?
Is
society?
it?
Daddy, the king gave them titles, did he not?
Yes, Beauty.
And land?
Yes, Brains.
Yes, Beauty. Yes,
Well.
right.
Mother said they were all the families of the Ton got their titles and land from the king.
It is not the same.
It is.
It is. God, whoever this is, I stand them.
Popping off. Let's go.
Violet Ledger. Stop
Violet
talking this
Ledger.
into-
Violet.
That is too much.
Oh, yeah,
thinking.
it's her then.
What has the governess been teaching you?
Well, Latin mostly.
Wow, her father seems quite cool.
Yes, I know. You are old. Your wombs are likely dry and useless.
Oh,
Spinsters, you could try. Look at me. I am absolutely gorgeous. Style yourself. A man. for goodness.
I love her so much.
So many spinsters.
It's just so
little
weird, but I
time.
hope she gets a royal baby at the end.
I know.
Tell her you would like to host the first ball of the season. Gain her support.
So the first ball of the season. That is not what tea is for.
Perhaps you should not attend. Perhaps you should stay home with me.
Fuck that.
They shared a look.
After a few strained first days, they enjoyed a wonderful honeymoon. And the coronation has only drawn them closer.
Okay. It's kind of like, reminds me of when King Charles was coronated.
Yeah, I was about to say, can't believe I'm watching 2 coronations in a year.
I know, like, it's very similar. Plonk the crown on the head, everyone goes home happy.
Oh. They do seem like they're okay. Is this a dream or something?
This looks very sort of dreamlike, you know? Like the ideal situation. And then they're not gonna, yeah.
Oh, it was all an
Just help me
act.
get this off my head.
They did good at acting.
It's a lie. He is a lying liar who.
I like how she just spills this in front of everybody, all the people around her.
And you have spoken with her about an heir?
I have. You shall survive this, as long as you remain steadfast on
Becoming with child. I am steadfast.
God,
It
it's
is
a
all I
broken
do.
record, isn't it?
Their first time was so romantic, and now since then it's hateful.
We did agree to even days.
We did.
The sooner you are with child, the sooner we can cease this performance.
Our duty will be done, and I will no longer have to view your face.
I would very much like to have the opportunity to no longer hear your voice.
It is difficult.
Oh my god.
Angry sex it is! This is such a bizarre relationship.
There's no way she means that it's awful. Oh my god.
I know. You don't have this sort of passion with someone you hate.
I hate the way that he breathes.
Oh my goodness.
Will you please no longer breathe so very loudly?
Would you please not talk?
I will talk if I wish to talk.
What exactly is the problem? You have been behaving like a child.
Look at them, they're like, oh, this is so awkward.
Did she actually tell him what she heard?
Shall I leave?
It's like they have this sort of like angry energy that sucks them in. Like it's sort of like a weird ass tension. So we all gonna watch?
It is an even day.
It is.
God,
I
this
mean,
is
the
so
passion is there whether they're angry at each other or not. Oh
Please tell me that. Oh my god, this is not.
no way!
No way!
How are they not embarrassed about that? That is so weird.
No shame.
I do not suppose you would allow me to cool down in your chambers later.
I might allow it.
She's a nightmare, she said. She keeps going back for more.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure,
Yeah, but I mean, look at it. It's more than just a duty, isn't it?
but they're not admitting it. And then go back to not touching.
What do they say to each other on odd days?
Orange.
Oh, still with this?
They still do that.
The king does not allow social events at the palace of any kind.
Oh, well, we can go out to socialise, I suppose. I merely thought...
He does not socialise. It is simply his way.
Has it always been his way?
For a time, yes.
But why? He does not seem shy with people. He is tall and strong, handsome, and smells like a man.
A lot of positive things to say about him.
I could be incorrect.
Oh,
In
he
fact, I
slipped.
misspoke.
Leave us.
He's always been a gossip as Brimsley.
How ill is he?
He is not ill.
Then why the doctor? She is his wife. She should know.
There
We'll
is
always
nothing
fight her
I can
corner. Not even gonna tell your lover?
What is his name?
It's Coronation Day. The crown must be examined on Coronation Day. What is it?
You would think they would want to examine the Queen as well.
Yeah.
Tis all anyone cares about, me making a baby.
Cellar is where his examination room is.
That is all?
That is
Very
all.
defensive.
Fine. After all, I am now, what were those words? Living for the happiness or misery of a great nation.
She's so matter of fact.
I love it.
Is she?
I know, it's what I love about her.
Lord Danbury and I would like to throw the first ball of the season. It makes sense that I would host as one of the Queen's ladies, and it would be a display of unity for the top.
Not to say it like that.
That will not be accepted.
Wow.
It would be difficult for you to hear about the Queen being
Oh,
with
she's
child
blackmailing
long
her.
after the fact. Would it not?
And it continues. Oh
Oh
dear.
god, the head smacking. We know what time it is.
Different position this time.
Yeah, spicing it up.
Must
today.
be a lazy day.
You are every bit as good as they are.
I think that's the first sweet moment we've seen between them.
Was this one a terribly awful round, my lady?
God.
Not really. I planned some correspondence that I need to write, so the time was useful.
Princess Augusta gave her approval.
No, she has not yet decided, which is why I shall need to send out invitations before she does.
It really does seem like Lady Danbury was just as important in making the change. She's fighting
For
for it more
sure.
than Charlotte.
No, you may not go. You are not out. And even if you were out, you could not go. We are not going to their home for any reason. It is enough that I must see her at court.
What has she ever done to you, for goodness sake? woman?
Oh god, she is insufferable, this woman.
A child named Mozart.
Oh my god, is that
Mozart.
actual Mozart?
Has she no taste? Majesty has an excellent
musical ear, does she not?
Oh, of course. Her Majesty is...
God, she did actually go along.
I received an invitation to your little ball.
Little? Way to belittle
So
it.
sad to miss it. Well, we all are we not, ladies?
They're all missing
They're
it.
not going.
Bitches. What else do you have to do in this era of time except go to balls?
I know, it's not as if they're doing anything else, is it?
I have duties to attend.
Well, your duties are not like those of any king I have known. How do you spend your days?
Farming.
I'm unclear on your words.
He just does his own hobbies.
Part of that science is agriculture. I
He
enjoy
keeps
it.
to himself.
So
Yeah.
King George is Farmer George.
We could have just said that.
There's a reason he doesn't go out into society, though.
I know that you will not attend, as the king does not accept social engagements.
Is that not odd? Do you know why?
I do not.
She's not going to let it go.
No, she doesn't seem the type to let something like that go.
Princess Augusta has asked me to cancel my ball.
I do not understand how this relates to me. If Princess Augusta has
You are the queen, and this feels beneath you, but if you were not the queen...
But I am.
Your life here would be very different.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you not understand?
She has to
You
fight
are the
so
first
hard.
of your kind. That opened doors, so we are new.
Yeah. I think Lady Danbury's trying to, like, tell her that.
You are our queen. Your focus should be your country, your people, our side. I do not understand that you hold our fates in your hands.
She's not looking at the wider scope.
I can see why she's very frustrated, but I think she'll think on that.
She picked her own orange! Yay!
Yes! Achievement!
I have picked my own orange.
You have, Your Majesty.
Was it hard? No.
Even day.
He is inside, Your Majesty.
They know what that means. Oh. Oh. Oh.
He's over it.
Oh, he's over it.
It must be really sad seeing like the Queen and King's sex life is so active and public, whereas they have to have these stolen moments in the shadows. It's like one extreme to the other, really, isn't it?
You live for the happiness and the misery of a great
Charlotte.
nation. No, I am saying I understand. You must feel caged. No wonder you spend so much time in the garden.
In the garden, I'm a regular man.
Farmer George,
Do not feel sorry for me. I do not know anything else.
you are a person to me. You can be a person with me.
You can be Farmer George with her. They did actually love each other, so
Yeah.
has to work out.
No more even days and odd days.
We shall just have days.
See? Look at what happens when you talk. I say this all the time. It works wonders.
Our palace walls are too high.
They're going to the yes, the Danbury Ball.
Yes! See, if they're there, then
Everyone will
else
walk
is going to
up,
be, aren't
surely.
they?
Should I have a different handkerchief?
You look perfect.
Oh,
Has no
nice!
one arrived yet?
Ryan.
No one is going to come, Agatha. I thought you said they were coming.
They are coming.
God,
When
give
you
it
get
give it a
too
minute.
nervous like this, he is quite cute.
Lady Ledger.
What? Oh my god.
Are they the first to arrive?
They're the worst ones to turn up
Agatha, how
first.
wonderful of you to invite us.
I know.
Did not think you would be attending.
Of course we are attending. We would not miss it.
Word must have got round already that the King and Queen are coming.
But then she received a personal note from His Majesty the King.
Right.
How could she miss an event that the King is planning to attend?
Exactly.
Her head would burst into flames. I like you. Let's be friends.
I like him.
Lord
Yeah.
Danbury,
Why did
when
you
can
end
I
up
get
with
you
someone
on
as
one of my
miserable as
hunts?
her?
Thank you for having me.
Your Majesty.
Shall we?
They're a united front. This music's a
Charlotte
bit
is right. He
weird.
does seem very personable and good in social situations.
He just chooses not to and prefers the company of himself, which is fair enough.
May I have a dance with your wife?
Oh my god, is he going to try and
Holy
steal his
shit.
wife? I think he wants to trade wives, you know.
Stop. Societal
They're gonna-
progression right here. Oh wow, they're all dancing with people on
Oh,
the
he just
opposite
looks miserable.
side.
Queen Charlotte and Lady Danbury are literally like the fighting force of this you know, integration.
Look at him.
She could see these.
Oh God, don't start crying, mate.
Thank you.
You never have to thank me. We are a team.
I think it was a success. I thought he was going for a high five then. I was like,
Oh, you're a success!
Yes, indeed. I am a success.
Oh, stop ruining the moment, man.
I know, don't take all the credit.
With one evening, one party, we have created more change, stepped forward more than Britain has in the last century, more than I would have dreamed.
You can do anything, George.
With you by my side, I think I can.
Oh, look at this. They're getting along. Jesus, okay.
Okay, very experimental.
Oh, God.
Has he died?
Oh my God, has he died?
My lord, have you finished?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's gone out doing what he loved best.
My lord?
Oh my God. He died mid-shag. Oh my God.
He had the best day of his life, though. He made it.
Oh my God, it was such a good day. He died.
No unfinished business for him. Holy shit.
You need not drop out as often.
She looks so happy.
We are done.
Oh my God. He's dead. Yes.
This is so
Get the
wicked.
wine out. I know. Oh God, now they've got to put on the tears.
Something has happened to Lord Danbury.
I was with the Archbishop discussing funding a school for orphan girls in the name of Lord Danbury.
How noble.
Not really. Lord Danbury disdained orphans, thought educating the poor a waste, and found girls useful only for breeding. In you, Edmund lives on. I loathed. And in my loathing, I fund a school to seek revenge and satisfaction. And me, Herman rots.
That is sad, though, because after her husband died, she just remained a widow forever. She never was able to find anyone else.
She's never had that
And I don't
opportunity
know.
to love.
Was it a rule that women couldn't remarry in those days? Probably, right?
Why do you think my girls never married?
They love you. And the king, it happened so early. You were so young. You are still his queen. Forever frozen. Forever waiting. Your daughters could not leave you here, trapped in time.
Go and stand over there and stop talking.
Dose of the truth, you know.
Is he drawing on the walls?
George,
Why is he... Whoa.
He's having an episode of something.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He probably doesn't even realise she's there.
what is going on?
Just stand guard at the garden door, clear the back hall, lock the servants in downstairs if you must. Keep everyone away.
Venus!
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Venus, my angel, I'm here! I'm here!
Okay, this is...
I feel you, talk to me! Yeah! I knew you would come!
He's used to this. He knew to bring clothes.
Perhaps you would like to warm up.
Is this Venus? Do you see her?
I do, Your Majesty.
Say hello!
Hello, Venus. Your Majesty, let us cover you up with this.
He's like, okay, yes, we get...
Farmer George.
It is Venus. Say hello.
No. I am Venus.
You are Venus?
Yes. And Venus is going inside. You need to come with me.
I thought you were in the sky.
She had to deal with this
I was
so
in the
early
sky,
on
but
in their
now I'm going
marriage.
inside. Into Buckingham House.
She just adjusted and did it straight away. This is why he wanted to isolate himself and live in separate places, so that
Yeah.
she'd never have to put up with this. Suspicions, I feel like, are confirmed. You know what that really reminded me of? I don't know if you'll remember it, but do you remember that scene in Scam when...
God, we're going back there.
I know. You weren't like a proper super fan of Scam, so I don't know if you'll remember, but for people out there that have seen Scam, it really reminded me of that scene when Isak and Evan are staying in like a hotel together, and then Isak wakes up in the middle of the night and Evan leaves the hotel room naked and goes wandering about the streets naked. and that's the first time we find out that he's bipolar. So I feel like that was a very similar thing there with George.
I briefly remember that.
That
and
scene really scared me when I watched it the first time, because I didn't know what was happening. And I kind of felt the same there. It was like, oh my gosh, if I was Charlotte in that situation, I don't know what I'd do. Like
honestly, it really shakes you seeing something like that, because you know this person as well as you think you do, but there is another side to them that they can't help at all, but it's a part of them, and you have to help manage that and also like care for them in a way. You've got to look out for them and know their tendencies, and it's such a big responsibility for Charlotte now. Like she knows the sort of things that George has been hiding from her, his tendencies, his behaviour that he suppresses as much as he can, and I think it's going to become a lot more clearer for her now, and it's just so sad to watch. Honestly, it's so sad to watch.
And he clearly can't control it.
He can't, can he?
And that's why I said, sure, it could be a thing if he just keeps to himself and does gardening and all that stuff because he likes it. But I think he's had to find these hobbies because he doesn't want to impose himself on society in case something like this happens. Like, if people found out that the king had a mental health issue and went mad, as they would have called it, there would have been an uproar and probably people, looking down on him for that and saying that he should be dethroned because he's not a normal human being. He has issues, so he can't risk having an episode like that in society. And I do love that he tried to break out of his zone and he went with Charlotte to the ball as she'd asked, and we saw how passionate he was about making change as well. He said he'd always wanted to do something like that.
I know, it was so nice. Like, the first half of the episode was very rocky with them just doing even and odd days. Like, that was very rocky. But the other half was so nice and special, and we got to see them actually talk and be a couple, and they're so good together. Like, oh, if they were like that all the time, like, it would be great. And I hope that it continues on this, good journey. But we've hit a little obstacle now where things are getting revealed to Charlotte about George, and it's just how they adapt to that. And I just hope the best for them because they're so damn cute.
At the end of every episode, we've had an obstacle. At the end of episode 1, it was him saying, we'll be living in separate places and having that burst outburst.
Of course.
Episode 2, she overheard what he said to his mother, where it sounded like he didn't really love her. And then now it's this. And I have a feeling that maybe this time it won't cause a split unless it's from his point of view. Like, he might say, I can't be with you because of this, but I don't think she'll turn her back on him this time because it's not something he can control. I think Charlotte is enough of a caring, empathetic human being to know that he can't control this, and that he's not someone that should be unloved just because he has a mental illness.
Yeah, I totally agree. We saw Charlotte be very understanding when they were in bed, and she was like, this whole being a king is a lot of pressure for you, and it must be really lonely. And in that moment she was really understanding and put herself in his shoes, and that sort of mended their relationship a lot because like they were at each other's throats 10 minutes ago, and now after just putting herself in his shoes they're a lot more comfortable around each other now because they have a level of understanding. And I think she will help him a lot, and I think George is very insecure about this. And
I mean, clearly not even all this. Brimsley had no idea, and I think the Queen knows. And obviously
I don't think
she
knows the extent of it though.
I'm trying to think of what was specifically said. They always say how he's someone that likes to keep to himself, and there was that one scene with the Lords last episode where they said he is a unique person, and that makes it seem like they know, but maybe they're just being because he doesn't like to socialise. I don't know, but I would expect the Queen, I mean, not the Queen, the princess, the Dowager Princess. I would expect her to know about her son's issue. Like, she must have had to call for a doctor at some point. And then obviously his right-hand servant knows. He wants to keep it as closed off as possible, and I would imagine he's probably under orders from the Dowager Princess to do that.
Yeah, it's they have to make things perfect. Like, the image of the monarch and royalty has to be perfect, and something like this scraps that entirely, and it is sad. It is sad. And like, you saw how, like, it's like a routine. You saw how the king's servant was like, you know, lock the doors. Like, he knows the procedure, and like, he's so used to it. So that just tells you, like, this is a frequent thing, and that he's used to George's like episode. So yeah, I think now that Charlotte knows, I think it's going to be a lot easier for him.
I think it'll be easier for them to communicate, because it seems like he's been off with her this whole time. Like, she was unsure about whether he even liked her at first, but it's probably because he didn't want to for her to have to put up with this, him being so erratic and not knowing when he's going to have an episode like this. So he just thought, if we live in separate houses, it'll be fine. I'll just deal with it on my own. She can live a life on her own. It'll be fine. But I don't think either of them expected to have feelings as soon as they did. I mean, from the very first minute, I think he liked her. Definitely.
She was trying to climb the wall. I think it was
he was like,
oh
man, like, this is the girl for me.
Like, this isn't a normal girl around here. No, she's got fire and spirit in her, and I think he liked that. And you can just see like how they have such a solid connection. And I don't think something like this is going to ruin that. I think having communication between them is what they need, you know, because just from that conversation about Charlotte sympathising with George, solved so much trust between them.
Yeah,
now.
that brought them together.
I know, like, something like a simple conversation like that can do wonders. And I always say communication is key. I'm a broken record by now with all these shows that do not communicate with each other, and it is my pet peeve. But we have seen here prime example of it working, and I only think it's going to get stronger, honestly. I don't think there'll be too many tiffs from now on. I think, you know, if George lets Charlotte in and, you know, confides in her more, I think it will only make the relationship stronger. And I just hope that is the way it goes, because I don't think keeping things from her is gonna be the way forward. Like, you might as well tell her now. She pretty much knows a lot. So just be a team, like he said on the dance floor at that very nice ball. He said we're a team now. So I hope he sticks to that, because I think it's gonna be worthwhile.
And a special shout out to Violet Bridgerton's father, Mr. Lord Ledger.
Goodness.
Amazing. It's not often you see the man in the, well, in these times at least, it's not often you see the man in the relationship being the one that's more for society progression. The mother, she was awful and horrible and just the epitome of what you would expect people in this era to be like. But it was so great to see a man being the one to step forward and make change. And we do see it in King George as well, but we already know he's good. So seeing like an older man, someone else who's high in society, stepping forward to make that change, like him asking Lady Danbury for that dance did wonders.
I don't see a bad bone in his body. Like, he was just so, you know, so chilled, and his wife is insufferable. Like, she's just a walking, talking moan fest that is just always miserable and makes the lives of everyone around her miserable. And it's so nice to see the relationship Violet has with her dad, and that he is a good person and helped a lot in that ball. Like, it was a success. And, you know, Lady Danbury had a really good evening. Not only did she have an excellent ball, her husband died.
Yeah.
Get the confetti out, people.
I cannot believe that.
Oh my god,
I didn't expect her to have that reaction. I knew she'd be relieved.
I know.
But not like dancing.
She was shocked when it happened, and I thought she was gonna like start crying or something, but no, she was like, Coral, it's time. Like, he died during the act.
I know. That's so funny because they've shown those scenes so many times. I'm happy to know those scenes are now coming to an end. They showed it so many times. I mean, it makes sense because it was all leading up to that, that final blow.
Oh god.
Oh man, he just conked out. I mean, I guess it wasn't a bad way to go. It seemed pretty quick.
Honestly, it was literally a click of the finger. Like, 1 minute he was freaking.
He must have been. It would have been a horrible sight if she had turned around because it sounded like he just stopped for ages.
It was so quiet for a solid 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, like multiple seconds later, that's when he thudded onto the floor. So if she had turned around, she would have just seen him like kneeling there dead with his penis to inside her.
Oh, he literally died inside her, man. That's mad.
And I really enjoyed that tidbit of information that Lady Danbury set up a like charitable thing for young poor children because that was exactly what he despised. Love that.
I know. You just saw how like nasty he was behind the facade. Like, he hated orphan children. Like, who hates orphans?
These children can't help that they're poor. It's ridiculous.
They can't help the life that they've been born into. Like, it's just sad, but it's funny that that's how she is spending his inheritance.
That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching our reaction to episode 3 of Queen Charlotte. If you want to watch our uncut reactions to Queen Charlotte, the link to the Patreon page will be in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time for episode 4. Bye!
Bye!